Hi Libra, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carole and this is going to be a general reading for you for April 2026. If you're new to my channel, I want you to let me know below, comment, and tell me that you found me and if the reading resonated with you. And if you're coming back for another reading, I'd like to thank you first of all, and also I'd love it if you subscribe to my channel because that helps it get out to more people who need the healing. So some of you may know I have been healing myself for 9 years intensively, working with a trauma coach, and I have complex PTSD. I am a survivor of sexual abuse and trafficking in my own family. And so out of my healing, I slowly, was making it towards my true purpose. And as I peeled away and peeled away and peeled away at, layers and layers of repressed memories, I started my own website called carolecares.com, and I had put out some videos, and some of the videos I'll recommend to you at the end if it pertains to what we're working on here. I started tarot, and so I offer personal readings. You'll find that on my website. And I also, recently in the last year and a half, I've discovered that I'm a shamanic practitioner. So I've taken courses for that, and I'm continuing to take courses all the time. And so I offer healings. And if you're interested in that, on my website as well, there's a page on my shamanic healing and my business called Red Snake Medicine. And if you'd like a 15-minute consultation with me just to talk about, what is what's a healing look like, and what you get from it. Some of you might know already, but that's there for you if you'd like to take advantage of that. But we're going to look at today your reading, and in particular, this month for you, Libra, is very, very powerful. We start off with actually a full moon on the 2nd of April in your sign, and so this is really about bringing balance to something, whatever it is, and we're going to see about that. The tarot itself and the Fool's Journey is about bringing balance to your feminine and your masculine side. We both have that. So we're going to see what's happening with you with your healing this month as far as bringing balance to that. And so it's a real month. Like I said, it's a powerful month because we begin with this full moon. And then on the 17th, there's a new moon. And that's the biggest power, energetic power that's coming for us, if you like, because you're going to have like these, I think it's 7 planets that are going to be coming into the sign of Aries. And so Aries is going to bring that energy of, this is who I am. And it's almost like watch out world, because I'm going to take my next step now. And so it might involve a bit of a risk for you to take this next step for you. You're meant to walk towards your purpose, right? It's like you being that sovereign being and saying, you know what? I'm going to put me first, and I'm going to take this next step. It could be the smallest step ever. Sometimes the smallest steps can be the most difficult, right? Because we have a lot of resistance to it. And so this is really a month for all of us to take advantage of this energy. It's like a rebirth energy. It's like, who are you? And so, and you're gonna tell people who you are. Like you're gonna start to understand. There's gonna be more clarity there for you about this is who I am. And so in this reading, we're gonna ask for more clarity around you moving forward, whatever it is next step is you want to take for yourself, whether it's about a career or your career or relationship you're in. It could be you're moving physically like myself, or you're moving spiritually, but it's really asking you as well. This is going to be, you have to be very careful, because our ego self can really, if we have this energy of pulling us, and our ego self can take that and kind of spin it into maybe an addiction, or where it just totally consumes our mind. And so it's really a time where we have to continue to ground ourselves and to make sure that this next move is really what we're meant to do. So we're going to look at, first of all, what is your next step? So let's ask one card here for Libra. What's Libra's, oh, it turned over. What's Libra's next step? We have the Ace of Cups in reverse. And then we're going to ask, you know, what's the resistance to, what's blocking you from moving forward? Because oftentimes we'll know what we want to do. And but we've got this resistance and we can feel it, whether it's anxiety, fear. There's something there that's blocking you. And we always, when we want to make this big, new, bold move for ourselves, we find that, you know, that's the most resistance. And there's some stupid stuff on the internet that will tell you, well, if you have all this fear around what you want to do, it's not meant for you. It's actually the opposite. Because the most crazy idea and the one that we have the most resistance to doing is often the one that we need to do. So what's blocking you from moving forward, Libra, with this Ace of Cups over here? Just one card. And sometimes it might take another shuffle. One card for Libra. Blocking. There we go. You have the Five of Wands in reverse. And out of all my decks, this is my favorite Five of Wands card. What do I need to heal? Oh, well, it's sideways. This Page of Wands here needs healing, right? Because this right here, what's blocking you, this is what you're gonna know what's blocking you. But then this comes from your unconscious. This comes from your shadow. There's something that you need to heal that's causing this block, right? This block is coming up for a reason, because it's like, you've got this memory. You've got these emotions you got to get to. There's something here that you've got to heal before you move forward. And then finally, what advice does the tarot have for you? Ooh, 2, 2, 2, 2. So this came like this, and this one was like this. So you have the Four of Wands sideways with the Page of Pentacles underneath. So you have two pages. You have a Page of Wands sitting in your unconscious, sitting in your shadow. And then you have another page over here that needs healing for your advice. So our pages, I'm going to tell you now, are inner children. So there's some real, this is the second reading I've done so far for April, and it seems to be an inner child theme. Aries had an inner child theme as well. So we'll see what comes up for you. All right, let's get some clarity for some clarifiers for the Ace of Cups. And I did shuffle these decks before I came on. So a couple cards here for the Ace of Cups for Libra. With their next step. Clarify this Ace of Cups. One more card. Okay, so you have the Page of Swords, and now it's our third page here that's come out on the table, and the Two of Cups in reverse. I look really dark on the screen. The sun's going down a bit, so it's going to be doing that, I think, right now with me. All right, the Five of Wands. A couple cards for that, please. Oh, those came out. We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Moon card, and the Knight of Cups. I got three. I don't usually get three in a row. So Ace of Cups, the Moon, and the Knight of Cups here. And that's going to go under your Five of Wands. And that's the block. What's blocking you? What do you need to heal under the Page of Wands? Couple clarifiers here. Okay, so you have the Sun card and the Justice card in reverse. Two major arcana cards sitting underneath the Page of Wands. Four of Wands and Page of Pentacles. Couple clarifiers for that. You have the King of Pentacles. Oh, and you have two here. Queen of Cups and the Four of Pentacles in reverse. You have a lot of cards here for advice from the tarot. I like that for you. Okay, so let's begin. Libra, what's your next step? Well, you start off with the Ace of Cups. And in my deck, the aces are, they're like new beginnings, you know. This is a month of rebirth. It's a powerful month for us. And, you know, it's beautiful that you start off with the Ace of Cups because it's a new beginning for you. It's a brand new offer. And it's a brand new gift from the universe if you want. But it's in reverse here. Now, the reason why it's in reverse because I think there has been in the past a resistance to taking this. And so what is the cup? Well, the cup is emotions. It's about feeling your emotions. There's something here that you obviously need to heal. There's some emotions here that you've been holding on to that you need to get to. I think your next step is for you to decide, you know what? I want to heal. I want to heal this relationship. I want to heal what's going on with my career. I want to heal with my health. Believe it or not, a lot of times, you know, we have certain things that go wrong with our body, certain diseases, certain things that we have that are caused by us holding on to emotions. For example, our liver is very much related to anger. And so we can have anger that oftentimes a lot of us will hold on to, and that will fester in your body and create these, you know, clumps of energy that are not supposed to be there. So it creates these blocks in our body that aren't supposed to be there. We hold on to these emotions, you know. Eventually we get sick because we don't release these emotions. And so you're asking to release these emotions, whether it's you know, whatever it is that you're going through right now, you know what it is because it's a general reading. But you've got these emotions around it that need releasing because you have the page right underneath it. And so there's a page, and we're getting into the pages because you have quite a few. I think we said we have 3 pages on the table. And so pages are our inner children. You can have more than one inner child. I know mainstream psychology says you just have one. But I've been on this healing journey to know that I have more than one inner child. My inner children hold my memories. They hold big emotions that are connected to those memories because when they were younger, when I was younger, when you were younger, your inner children couldn't, you as a child could not feel these big emotions like grief and shame and fear. And so you have parts of you, your inner parts, that hold on to these, your inner children. And this is the Page of Swords, and it's in reverse. And I think that because you have these emotions that you need to feel around a certain situation, you have this Page of Swords that also is asking you to feel. Because when you were younger, this inner child who's your holds this sword, and the sword is all about, the one sword by itself is about your authenticity, who you are. I think when you were younger, there was a part of you that wasn't allowed to be your true self. And this month is all about your true self coming out. It's about you being, this is me, you know, look at me world, this is who I am. I'm stepping out now. But before you do that, you've got to remember that There's this inner child that's been trying to get your attention that's blocked right now. Because when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew who you were. You knew your direction. You knew your purpose. But something happened, and we're going to find out what happened in your shadow. Something happened to you where, you know, you weren't allowed to be you. I can see already that there's a page of wands sitting right here in your shadow. Well, the page of wands is the one that knows your direction, where you're supposed to be, you know, where you're supposed to go. And so there's something here about you not being able to do what you wanted to do when you were younger, go in the direction you wanted to do. And so there's some emotions around that need healing before you can take this next step. And the second card that comes out as a clarify for your Ace of Cups, you know, your gift to heal, is this Two of Cups, and it's in reverse. Well, let's look at this fascinating card for you. It's interesting that you got the two cards that are cups. Well, cups is all about our emotions. In this card, it's, you know, it's number 2. So you got the Ace of Cups here, right? This offer. And then you got the Two of Cups, which again is right at the beginning of the pip cards. It's the next card. And so it's a beginning card. It's a beginning card of a relationship. A really healing, vulnerable, close relationship. It's not about two people. It's the relationship that you're going to have with yourself. It's that inner relationship that you have with yourself, of getting to know who you are. Fascinating that you have this. You're starting to get to know. This month is like, you're going to step out and you're going to finally, you know, show the world who you are, a rebirth of who you are. And you're going to start this journey of who you are, but it's in reverse again, because you got to feel it. You got to feel you got to feel what this page, this younger child of yours felt when they said, no, you're not allowed to be that person. You're not allowed to be the authentic self. You know, when we're told things when we're younger and we put on these masks because we're not allowed to be the person that we thought we were supposed to be. We were told to put that away, put that emotion away, put this emotion away. For me, the big emotion that I wasn't allowed to feel was my anger. And I had to learn how to feel it as an adult, because that was my power when I started to feel my anger, right? And I did that through my journaling. And I grounded that anger that used to come out all over the place at people. And so what is it that you have to feel? What's your one emotion that you have a hard time getting to? Is it the grief? Could be grief. Is it the anger? What is it that you need to get to here? There's something that you need to, emotion that you need to get here in order to heal. So what's blocking you from moving forward? What is blocking you? Because your next step is to begin this intimate relationship with yourself. So what's blocking you from doing that? Well, you have the 5 of Wands here, and I love this 5 of Wands. The 5 of Wands speaks about in an upright position. It talks about this individual, and I know, you know, this is a wand that's in between them, and there's 2 different people. But for me, this almost looks like an individual, and I see that wand acting like a mirror here, looking through the mirror and seeing a different person, because they've told themselves all their life that this is who they are. Do you look in the mirror, Libra, and say, ugh, I hate that about myself. Ugh, I hate that, you know? Do you look in the mirror and see a different person? Everybody else maybe sees you one way, but you look in that mirror and you see yourself another way. This is what I call the inner critic card. It can be, it's my inner critic. Like the one that's, you know, always telling themselves stuff. And oftentimes the things that we tell ourselves over and over in our head are the things that adults told us when we were younger, you know? Oh, you're too ugly, or oh, you'll never do that because you can't, you're not as smart as so-and-so, you know? And these things, we hear these words, these really hurtful words, and they become our inner critic, and we repeat them over and over again. So what's blocking you from moving forward is what you're telling yourself, what you believe about yourself, you know, what you've been told all your life. That's what's blocking you, your beliefs about yourself. You know, what does the inner critic tell? What do you tell yourself all the time? Underneath that Five of Wands, well, that critic card, you have the Ace of Pentacles right here, and this is part of what's blocking you. The Ace is, like I said, it's a new beginning, but this time it's the body. Well, what's blocking you is the Ace is your body. And so if your inner critic is out all the time, and you hear yourself saying, yeah, you're like this, oh, you can't do this, oh, and that's what's blocking you. Well, you're up in your head. It's your ego self that has learned to repeat these things over and over in your head, because that's all it knows. That's what it remembers. Your ego self doesn't know that you're an adult now, and it repeats the same things that, you know, these adults that told us stuff when we were younger. It repeats that stuff to us just to remind us, right? Oh, you can't do that. You don't have money. Oh, you can't do that. Oh, you're too weak for that. Oh, you can't do that. No, you're not smart enough. Well, here's this pentacle that's coming out is saying, you know, you need to be in your body, right? And it's a gift from the universe. It's you know, a new beginning, because you're up in your head. And so you have to realize that, you know, the reason why you can't feel right now is because you're not in your body. And here's the emotions that you need to feel, but you're not in your body, and that's what's blocking you from moving forward. And then you have this Moon card. And the Moon card is it's a major arcana card. It's feminine energy. The Moon card talks about your intuition. It's like, it's that inner knowing, that gut knowing. Well, it's blocked as well, because if you're not in your body, you cannot access your intuition. Your intuition is from your body. It's your feminine side. Your mind is not your intuition. You know, and people like to say, well, they're intuitive. If that decision came from up here, you can't make an intuitive decision with your mind. It's just impossible. It has to come from here. And so your intuition is blocked because you're up in your head telling you these things. So that's what's blocking you. So you don't have that inner guidance of knowing which way to go. And if we don't have that inner guidance, we've got our ego self in control that will confuse the shit out of us all the time. And then you have this Knight of Cups, and that's this freedom fighter part of you. It's an adolescent part of us, right? It's that part that wants freedom to be themselves. It's that part that wants freedom to have authentic love, authentic relationships. And so, you know, I'm seeing here that maybe you want authentic relationships. Maybe you, like me, where it's like, all my life, I really haven't experienced what it means to be loved, like to have authentic love shown to me. I didn't have that when I was younger. And so there's this part of you that wants that for yourself, that wants to move forward, but yet you don't want to feel. You see, like, and this is all our feminine side, Libra. And so I talked about, you know, how Libra's all about bringing things into balance, and you can become Libra. You can become out of balance. That would be the shadow side of you. And oftentimes, you know, it's because we need to feel our emotions, and that's the feminine side, our emotional side. And so what is it that you really need to heal? You know, there's something here that needs healing, obviously, because there's emotions that are involved. And for you to take this next step that you need to take, maybe towards authentic relationships, well, you need to heal. And it's a Page of Wands right here. And again, it's sideways. It's because it's, you know, maybe sometimes you're aware of it and sometimes you're not. But it's that inner child of yours that knows what direction you're supposed to go into. Believe it or not, when you were younger, when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew exactly what you wanted to do. And I think when you were younger, you were led into a different direction, right? And that's what happened. You were led into a different direction. And so this younger part has big emotions that you need to feel to heal it. You know, maybe there's some shame here. Maybe there's some, I'm seeing here that right underneath it is the Sun card, and it's in reverse. And I think because you were led into a different direction, you weren't allowed to do what you wanted to do. Well, the joy of childhood, you know. I always, this Sun card is, it's 3 letters, the Sun, but it means a huge, important emotion that a lot of us didn't feel when we were younger, and that's pure joy. This is a card of pure joy. And I'm not talking about that happiness, that Hallmark happiness bullshit where you just put on a happy face. I'm talking about, like, you know, a real carefree, innocent child being able to do what they wanted to do, be who they wanted to be, and feel the joy of being that when they're younger. And so you get that, Libra, you got the Justice card to bring this all into balance right here. It was out of balance. Your balance, we talked about balance and bringing your feminine side back into balance. It's sitting here hidden in your shadow, you know, and that's why you don't have this balance of relationships, of getting joy from relationships and authentic love. And that's all your feminine side and feeling, you know. That seems to me all out of balance, as well as your intuition, where you don't have access to. And a lot of it has to do with being in your body, getting out of your head and back into your body. So let's say what the advice from the tarot is right here is, you know, how do you fix this? How do you bring this all into balance? Well, the first one is the Four of Wands, which is a card of, I always see it at these, the Four of Wands. First of all, it's a wand, so it's talking about, you know, going in the direction you're supposed to go in. And this is like a victory card, like a breaking free. And this is the card here. It's like, this is almost like a, you know, look at the confetti there. Like these people have broken free and they're shaking each other's hand. It's like, congratulations, you've done it. It's like you're almost there because it's sideways. It's like you're almost out the door. You're almost there. You're almost going to break free of this. You have the Page of Pentacles right behind it. So here's your third page. Here's your third inner child. You know, 3 inner children in this reading. But this time it's the Pentacle. And look how he's hiding behind it. Look how you're hiding behind it here. This is you as a child. I'm wondering if you were a really shy person when you were younger, right? It's like very quiet. I was a teacher for 30 years. And I always used to say to the parents and peer teacher interview, I'd say, you know, that child that's really, really quiet in my classroom, I guarantee you that this child is not quiet when they're at home and they're like, nope. Once in a while I'd get, oh no, they're a child, they're just a quiet person. But I'm wondering if you're a quiet person. This is your inner child that holds your body, is in your body, is very much grounded in your body. And so there's a real need for you to, you know, the universe wants to congratulate you, wants you to break free from this, but you gotta get back in your body, right? There's an inner child here that was grounded, that knew who they were, that knew who their authentic self was. But you've lost that, and you've gone up in your head. And you know, when we're in our head, we're often led by our ego, because a lot of us don't go in our body because it's not a safe place there. Sorry, it's a safe place up here because there's no emotions up here. But we don't like to go in our body because that's where emotions are. But this is very much a question of you getting grounded into your body so that you can heal these inner children. I can already see that I'm going to leave you with a playlist on learning how to ground yourself. And I take you out of my backyard and I teach you how to ground. Because your King of Pentacles is here, and that's your masculine side. And I talked about, you know, often about your feminine side, and feminine side is your emotions. and bringing your masculine and your emotion side into balance, because there's two parts of us, and this whole Fool's journey is about bringing these feminine and the masculine side into balance, right? Because right now your ego is in control, and there's not one part of your ego that wants you to get back into your body. This ego self wants to keep you up in your head, because it's learned when you were young, and the ego thinks you're still a child. It doesn't know you're an adult. But it learned when you were really young that you had a lot of big emotions and you weren't allowed to feel them. And so the ego self will pull us out of our body and it'll put us up in our head, because, like I said, it's a safe place there. That's why all of us walk around in our ego, because it's safe. We don't have to feel those big emotions anymore. Well, you couldn't when you were younger. So it really is a protector part. It helped us when we were younger. It doesn't really help us as much now when it comes to emotions, because it'll block them. It doesn't want you to go back in your body. But then you have the Queen of Cups right beside it. So, you got the Queen and the King. So here's your two parts that need to come into balance. You got your feminine part, and no surprise that you got the Queen of Emotions, the Cups. She's the Queen of Emotions. And so the universe really wants you to, ground into your body. Even though the ego self doesn't want you to, and be very aware that you're going to have big resistance to that, and there's going to be a lot of fear on your part when you start to ground yourself, because there's going to be emotions that are coming up here that are very important for you to feel. We started off with this right at the beginning, because the next card is your four of Pentacles, and it's in reverse here, because there's not one part of you. There's a huge resistance when it's in reverse. There's a resistance to, call this the miser card. He holds on to the pentacle, right? There's a huge resistance on your part to letting go of these emotions that you have been holding on to for too long now. And so this is really a reading about letting go of these emotions that these inner children of yours have been wanting you to heal for a long time, and bringing your balance to your masculine and your feminine when you do that, and learning how to ground yourself. And the really important thing, like I said, is to get back in your body so you can feel these emotions, because you can't feel emotions in here. Can't talk your emotions away. You got to feel them. And so Libra, I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is a very difficult journey, your healing journey, but it's the most important one. So take care, and I'll talk soon. Bye.